everybody, and welcome back to Coffee with Jess. Today, we are not alone. We are joined by one of my fabulous sisters, Mandy, and her baby, Charlie, who is there somewhere in the background. Mandy, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I've got coffee. You've got coffee. Charlie hopefully does not have coffee. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about balance, because it's something that you have to tackle as a parent. And you're kind of up in the middle of all that craziness right now, if I'm not mistaken, aren't you, hun?
Yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Because you're not home alone today. You have.
No, I have both kids. My 4-year-old and my 10-month-old home with me today. So it's chaotic and wonderful.
The crunch years. I don't know. My kids aren't small anymore, but it's fairly chaotic, generally speaking, anyway. But yeah, life looks a little bit different at different phases, and you and I are 6 years apart, so we have a little bit of a difference in regards to where we're at. But how do you think that your way of doing life has changed before you had kids?
Well, before I had kids, if I wanted to leave the house, I just grabbed my jacket and left. And now it's a process when I leave the house. I mean, technically, I still grab my jacket when I leave, but I've got like 2 different bags with me, one Charlie bag, and usually some of Cassie's things shoved into that bag too, or 2 different bags because she wants her own purse, and then I end up carrying her purse. And it's always like I always have to plan. It's like I work 25% because I'm technically on maternity leave, and on Mondays when I head into office, we have a nice breakfast together. We get Cassie and Tom out the door, and when they've left, I get the rest of my stuff together, and I do my makeup while Charlie's hanging onto my legs in the bathroom because he's practicing standing up all the time. And then I get my laptop ready in that bag. Then I have his diaper bag. Then I have an extra bag in case I need to have my carrier, like my baby Bjorn thing on. And then I have and then usually I decide to take the trash out as I go. So I think that sometimes as a parent, you turn into an octopus, but you learn how to juggle all these different things.
It's weird,
so I
though.
Would say,
like it doesn't. I don't know. It's like you really like the concept of I feel like a pack animal is just interesting. And then what you were saying, that Cassie usually wants to bring her own bag, and then you end up carrying it. I don't know. Have you? It's one of those things. The first thing that comes to mind for me is going on walks with the family, and you go, oh, this is going to be so nice, and then the kid's like, oh, but I want to bring I want to bring the bike or whatever, and by the time you're on your way home, you're carrying the bike and possibly the child as well. It's just it's amazing that you don't have. I mean, I think upper body strength is one of those things that definitely goes up during those years. I remember the first time we were on our way to the car and both of the kids were walking on their own, that I felt like something was wrong or that I had forgotten something because I wasn't used to not having my arms completely full. It's totally nuts. But I think that what you're having to plan more than you did before, because I know you for a fact are one of those people that has always had a crazy schedule. Like you've always been doing so many things and they just sort of seem to just happen. I mean, you were doing, the children's choir, and you were doing Zumba, and you're working, and then you were studying, and
all during the same day usually.
Oh yeah.
That's what my Wednesdays would be: go to work, eat something on my way to children's choir, do the children's choir, head to Zumba, and then head home and study a bit.
How does that look like? How have you had to change how you do those things? Because you don't do quite as much Zumba anymore, right?
I thank Corona.
Well, oh my God, Mandy.
No, but
Oh my
seriously,
God, yeah.
I know it sounds terrible, but I mean, having Cass when we only had one kid, there was not a pandemic going on, and I still did a bunch of the different things, but I had decided not to do children's choir anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't do that, but I did have two Zumba classes a week. And I told
That
my
you were
husband that,
teaching. I just want to clarify that.
yeah,
You
I
were
was
teaching
teaching.
them. You weren't just going to work out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then, but doing that, and then we just decided that it was something that I love doing. I love teaching, right? I'm a kindergarten teacher. I love teaching kids, but I love dancing and I love music and I love instructing people. It's like being a puppet master. It's amazing.
It
It's
is.
up higher high.
You kind of get your evil genius thing going there.
And Charlie just started his activity center. I'm so sorry. But that's what life with kids is.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, just leaving the room. Uh, but I think that, we decided that I really wanted to do the Zumba thing, and it was one of my jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom was supportive in that, and that just worked. I mean, he would do I had it on Monday evenings and Sundays, and Tom would just be on kid duty.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we had number two, I mean, when I got pregnant, I was having about, I think, like one class a week. And then the pandemic started and everything got shut down. I mean, I was a Sunday school teacher at the time, and I had Zumba and all of that and children's choir, and everything just went on hold.
Mm.
And I think that made me, I mean, I am a bit restless, but that also makes all the energy that I used to put to all my activities, I would put them into activities with my kids or around the house or whatever. And I think that's why also I found energy enough to be able to work 25%. Usually people in Sweden are 100% on maternity leave if they're on maternity leave, but I decided to work a little part-time because
I think it'd been hard for you to not work, considering
yeah,
I know you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, because I love meeting people, I love doing things, and I love projects. And now it's like I get to be part of the workforce and just, hang out with my coworkers once a week. And Charlie's amazing at office. It's hilarious. He loves the ladies, not in a weird way. Awesome. Eat your cookie. Sorry.
Aww.
That's my 4-year-old. No, but it's just, I think that I try to do my best, and I apply whatever I apply myself, I go in full-heartedly.
Yeah.
And right now it's like this is my last month of maternity leave, and then Tom's going to be home with him for 4 months. And I'm just going to enjoy this last month. But I also have lots of meetings and, stuff going on. But I'm trying to do what's right for me. And I think a lot of people have a hard time because they think that they need to be able to do what they see someone else do. And they think, okay, that works for that person, then I'll try doing that too. And then they feel overwhelmed. And then they feel like they failed because they can't do what someone else does. And I think it's really important to find the balance in your own life.
Yeah. And I think that's definitely one of those things where, like, you look at you and me, for example. I mean, we're only 2 of 5 siblings. But we are very, very different personality-wise in what makes us tick and I mean, like, I look at you and the crazy stuff that you do, like the good stuff, not crazy, bad, crazy good stuff, but like you do so many things, and that gives you energy, because that's what it boils down to, right? I mean, if this was something that drained you, you wouldn't be doing it. But as you said, you guys, you looked at the schedule and said, okay, so Zumba, for example, it's one of those things that brings you joy. It fills you up and gives you what you need to maybe tackle those things that are not quite as fun. And I think that's sort of what it boils down to, like finding a balance and being, it's like there's stuff that you have to do, and then there's stuff that you want to do, and then there's stuff that you need to do. Wait, that makes no sense. Have to do and need to do.
No,
but I mean,
makes perfect sense.
What I mean is, like, you have those things that need to get done, But then you have those things that you as a
Like
person...
laundry.
Yes, laundry. I find it very offensive that it doesn't do itself. But like there's that stuff that needs to happen, sort of. But then there's the things that you need to do as a person to be able to do the stuff that has to happen. Does that make sense? Sort of.
Yeah.
Like I starting my day, starting my week. For example, last week for me, food-wise, was a disaster because I had not meal prepped. And I just I didn't have the energy. I hadn't done the prep work. And the rest of the week kind of suffered for it. So it's like yesterday I knew that I was tired, but I needed to do meal prep because I need to have healthy food options around the house or things going to get bad. Sort of. So... But it's tricky because it's like, you look at somebody and you go, oh, that person's doing so much. This person's doing that and that and that and that. And, sometimes you're in sloth mode. Or at least I am. It's
and
very
that's,
personal.
I think that's like the thing that stresses people a lot is, knowing that, okay, you keep comparing yourself to other people. And the worst thing I always tell friends or family members that are going through a hard time that, the worst thing you can be left alone with is your own thoughts. Because, once at night, when you're having a hard time sleeping, and it's like you're laying there in your bed and you start thinking, oh, I could have done that better. I could have done that better. I should have said that. Or, oh, I should have worked out today. Oh, I shouldn't have eaten that. Oh, I should have called her. I haven't talked to that person in a long time. And you keep beating yourself up for all these things. I should have, instead of just saying, hey, look what I did.
Yeah.
Today I had a great walk with my daughter. Today I managed to do 3 loads of laundry. I feel great about doing laundry today. Or today I sorted through my summer wardrobe and started boxing it up. Sometimes you just have to look at the small things and they're tiny, but you go, wow. And I think when you're in the baby years, like with Charlie, I mean, just watching him, then suddenly, you can be stressed and doing lots of different things. And then suddenly he grabs a toy and from nowhere, he just stands straight up. And you just go, wow.
Aww.
And it's the little things.
It
and
is.
I think
And
it's really
it
important
passes so fast.
to be in that and to see the little things, even if you don't have kids, find the little things that make you go, wow, in life. It could be a sunset. It could be just going out and looking at the trees and saying, wow, beautiful colors.
But it is, and it's that whole, staying in the moment, because I think a lot of times, I mean, the moment and the present is all we really have. With the future, we don't really know what's coming. We don't. That sounds kind of doomsday-ish, but you don't. And the past, that's already happened. And we can appreciate things, but I think that what you were talking about, like the comparison trap that we often get stuck in, as well as the worrying thing. Worrying, did I say this wrong? Did I say that? It takes a lot of joy out of the present to worry too much about the past and the future. Whereas that joy and the sense of just sort of breathing, letting things go, and appreciating what's happening right here, right now, that's happiness. Seriously.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a big thing.
No, it could be making your own bed. It's like our mom.
Do I have to make my bed
she
today?
always makes a point.
I need to make my bed today. I'm looking behind me. Oh my God.
Mom always makes a point of making. Mom and Dad both do it, but Mom's the one who wants it done. Dad's like he's fine with the mess. I think. But Mom told me one time when we were at our summer house in Finland, she said, "Well, I make a point of making my bed because I know that when I go into my room and I see that bed and it's made, I know that, even if one of the kids or the grandkids decides to lay on my bed, they're not laying in the sheets." And, it's also a feeling for me to know that that's been done. I've started my day. I start my day by making my bed.
I just want to point out that this is a perfect example of how you are so like our mom and I'm so like our dad. in some ways. But yeah, I
Yes.
know, and I need to make my bed. It is
But
so
I'll be
nice.
honest with you, even I haven't completely made my bed today. I know, wild and crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I have straightened up the sheets and everything. I just need to put the bedspread on. But sometimes, you just get sucked into the day and you don't have a chance to do it. But sometimes I think the little things like just making your bed, or it's like I tell my daughter, she's got a laundry basket in her room.
Mm.
It's really funny that I say this to her since mom kept saying it to me, but I keep telling her that dirty laundry go in the hamper, and that she shouldn't throw her clothes on the floor, and that before she goes to bed I want her to have a tidy room. And that's, it's going to work for a few years, but when she becomes a teenager, I know all that's going to be gone. But right now, it's a
No, I don't.
balanced room.
You know what, though? Seriously, I think you're laying the groundwork. Like, you're laying good groundwork. Because I think we were way too slack with those things. And now that we finally have a system that's put into place that is actually working, I'm just
Mm.
kind of flabbergasted that our kids are sorting their laundry and carrying up their laundry like their stuff. Um, I think that, putting those things down and sort of ingraining it in them when they're little to the
Mm.
point where it's not something. It feels like we're going into crazy evil genius thing here again, and mind control. But if you put those things down, things that you teach your kids when they are really really small, it becomes second nature to them, and they don't really nag about it because they don't realize that it's something they can rebel against because they just think that this is how it is.
It's true.
I think Charlie
Charlie just realized
Charlie just
that I
realized
left the
it's
room.
all it's all a conspiracy. He's rebelling now.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, but it's true. And we talk about that in kindergarten. We always work towards, giving kids responsibility and trying to encourage them to try things and do things.
Mm.
And that's, I guess, that's part of the problem with being a teacher. When you come home and you have a toddler at home, then you decide that, this is just this is how I work, sort of. But I think that trying to lay the groundwork will help us in the future with her
Mm.
when she grows up. Because I mean, I think about how when we were kids, remember that schedule we had? And it was
Mm-hmm.
really good that mom had that thing, or mom and dad. Dad is part of it too, making sure we followed it. But mom had drawn those little, feed the
I
fish,
know she drew the
wash your
fish
face
bowl, and I do
before,
that too
all
now.
these
Though, like I do the
apps and
visual
stuff.
aids.
Yeah, but yeah, she's so ahead of her time, our mom. But
Yes.
I loved how she drawn the little fish and
Mm-hmm.
washing under your armpits before deodorant and stuff.
But it
So,
is
but I
though.
think it's good, and it's good to have different routines before we go to bed and before we wake up. But I think the most important thing is to do the things together with our kids and not just say, okay, you go clean your room, but what days when they're not really feeling it, to say, would you like me to help you?
Yeah,
To
and
just
it and I
offer that hand.
and it really really is important. I mean, we always used to joke about Grandpa saying, "Don't do as I do, do as I say, don't do as I do." But and
Yeah.
and it's tricky because it does put responsibility on you as a parent. I remember saying yesterday, I was like, I'm so tired of this. I don't want to be responsible. And we have those days where it's like, ugh, I can't handle more responsibility. Um, but I
Mm.
think because of that, it is really important to, as a parent, as an adult, as a human being, realize that it's good to lay the foundation of taking care of yourself so that you do have enough energy and enough extra reserves to pull from. And that's not always easy. Like, I feel like this weekend I kind of crash and burned a little bit. Last weekend we had an amazing time out in a national park. We took the van out, and our plans were that we were going to do the same thing this weekend. We were going to go out with the van, and it was going to be amazing, and the kids were going to come this time, and everything. And then David wasn't feeling good, And I was just emotionally and just totally exhausted from the week. And instead, we had to sort of, rethink the entire weekend and say, okay, this is going to have to be a self-care weekend where we just try to focus on refilling those stores of energy and taking care of ourselves. And that's important and it's good. But I was still kind of in a miffy mood because we didn't go out with the van and I really wanted to. So just, trying to think that, okay, if we were talking last week or if it was 2 weeks ago about the whole spoon theory concept of where you put your energy and when you put it where and all of that stuff. Just realizing that you are going to have more energy certain days and you're going to have less energy other days and that's okay. It's okay to be exhausted. And especially during the crunch years when you have little kids or when things are intense at work or with your family or with your friends, to sort of say, okay, my life situation right now is intense. So I am going to have to put some extra thought and some extra energy into self-care. Because even if that looks different for everybody, you don't have to go to the spa. You could go for a walk. You could have some tea. You could go teach Zumba if that's what makes you, happy and fills you up. Just to take time for self-care and to make sure that you have those extra stores to work it, girl. And so, not twerk it. Well, you could do that too. I don't judge. Twerk it, girl. Twerk it.
Well, it's like those Norwegian scientists say. I think they were Norwegian.
They have scientists there. I'm just kidding.
They do. It was like a documentary about these
I love Norway.
family.
I love Norway. Just saying.
Yeah, and there were these sisters, and one of them had this mantra, conceal, don't feel, don't let it show, don't let them in, because then they'll know. And
let it go. Elsa.
No, but it's true. I mean, it is true to find out what works for you. And for Elsa, gloves.
Gloves are a thing.
For the shins. Yes. That's what I took away from that movie. You got problems, bottle them up.
And accessorize. Accessorize.
Yes. Fashion and problems go hand in hand. Get it?
Yes.
You were going
suppress your feelings. No, make sure you look.
Yeah. And I think that balance-wise, having... Yes, Charlie thought that was funny. Thank you. Thank you, son. No, balance-wise, and it's on those days. I remember when Cassie had one of her first colds, and I had this day planned. I was going to work out. I was going to go up to the outdoor gym and get my sweat on when she had her nap, and I was going to clean the house, and I was going to do some scrapbooking, and I just had this day planned, and I was looking forward to it because I felt sort of like I didn't have much to do. So, and then she had a cold. Yeah, Charlie's like, he's my hype man. Yeah. And she had a cold, and she wouldn't leave my side. She slept on me all day, and I'm sitting there on the couch with her, frustrated because I really wanted to get all those things done. And of course, I loved my kids and I loved her, but I just had a day planned. And it's like they always say, life happens when you're making plans. But then I posted on Facebook something about like, oh, great, here I am, stuck all day. And then this random person from church commented on the picture and said, enjoy it. Remember, these are the moments that they're never going to come back again. Enjoy it. Be in the moment.
Yeah.
And I really took that to heart because, that's like a lot of different things, when you feel like everything shifts and you feel like you're out of balance. It can be either in your body, you've been eating crap, or, your schedule gets totally messed up, or, things don't go as planned. To just be in it and find your balance, find your center in it.
Yep.
And I think that a lot of people probably had to rethink that when the pandemic hit,
Yep.
when everything was sort of shooken up and locked down and everything, to find out,
I think it's that, the not knowing thing. The
yeah.
when you feel that everything just kind of gets turned upside down, you thought you knew what was going on, all of a sudden you've got something new to deal with. It just goes,
Mm.
ugh. But I do think that that's, in regards to finding balance, I think being able to embrace change, and the fact that sometimes we need to not necessarily accessorize, although I don't judge, but
Mm.
let things go.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
important.
they're so
Whether it
wise.
being your sister saying that you're not allowed to use the color pink on your walls or not.
Hey, I give you pink. You can use pink again.
You, you gave me purple.
I like purple. You can have pink. I want purple back. Okay. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I really hope that I can get you to come back, because it's always fun to talk to you. Give the kids big hugs for me. And
I will.
I will see the rest of you guys back here next week, and we'll see what we got then. Till then, thank you so much, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.